Hey everyone, welcome back. If you've been following the ongoing Thornton Township drama, then you probably already heard about the explosive showdown that went down last night.
Earned brawl prompting a police response and the meeting to end abruptly. Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard right there in the middle of it.
Moments earlier, activist Jedediah Brown had called Supervisor Tiffany Henyard an expletive.
Fists went flying after a man known for speaking out against Henyard made his feelings clear once again.
And Cheryl, there have been no reports of any serious injuries or arrests in this incident, but there was real fear and disbelief in that room as divisions within Thornton Township government exploded into violence.
That should never happen. I just couldn't believe that it came to that.
Two Henyard allies that work for the township, including her boyfriend Kamal Woods and confidant William Moore, now on paid administrative leave after a board vote.
Retaliation. So again, thank you for the lawsuit.
Henyard combative throughout the meeting, especially toward board members that didn't side with her on votes.
An all-out brawl that multiple witnesses say involved Henyard herself.
It was one thing when the guys were fighting, but when she jumped in it, I was just taken aback. I was floored.
It was the first meeting for new trustee Stephanie Weedman, who also made it clear she's not bowing down to the self-proclaimed super mayor.
I don't trust the person in charge to take accountability for anything else.
Tensions were sky high, of course. This was the very first meeting featuring Stephanie Weedman, the newly appointed trustee on the Thornton Township Board of Trustees. Now, let me give you a quick rundown on Tiffany and Stephanie. Stephanie was actually fired by Tiffany, though the exact reason remains a bit of a mystery. Still, Tiffany had the authority as supervisor and didn't hesitate to pull the trigger. Stephanie had been with Thornton Township for 2 decades before Tiffany stepped into leadership. And here's what you need to know about her. She's never been the type to back down from Tiffany Henyard. She always speaks her truth, and that's likely why she didn't last long under Tiffany's reign. Now, I'm about to show you a clip of Stephanie moderating one of Thornton Township's annual meetings. It'll give you a clear look at how she's always stood firm for what she believes is right. I'll also include a throwback to Tiffany Henyard's time as a trustee, where she handled a similar situation involving the previous mayor. You know, I love adding those flashbacks. They really shine a light on the pattern of hypocrisy we keep seeing from Tiffany Henyard.
Answering questions, even though the original agenda was posted that way? It said, the original agenda posted says comments and questions.
3 questions, Mayor. I placed the 3 items on the agenda. What is our policy for placing things on the agenda?
The mayor approves the agenda.
Well, you guys changed it today when we got to this meeting. Okay, you finished?
No. The policy is any trustee, and any trustee that was sitting up here before the 3 came in can place anything on the agenda.
That's not what I recall.
It is, Mayor. I'm telling you.
Okay, again, my comment is public comment. So we can ask the agenda posted. Okay, attorney, the original agenda posted says questions and comments. I saw you look it up.
Mary Kay, is that not the policy of how we conduct the agenda items?
The practice of the trustees prior to the new board coming in was that any trustee could place any item on the agenda.
I am correct, right?
I have absolutely no idea what was posted here at the township. I know what was sent over to me, and I know what I have in my hand right here. In my hand right here, it says comments.
Thank you. So I go back to my question, which is why was my items removed? If that's our practice, I placed 3 items on the agenda. You removed my 3 items, heard the mayor.
What was those 3 items?
Those 3 items was 1, reinstate Chief Collins. 2 was update of the firehouse, thank you. And the last one was to promote 2 police officers. Those was my 3 agenda items. You took them off.
I would love for them to answer questions, but I can't force them to do so. So if you would like to ask more questions, you can.
And then y'all reposted the agenda.
I did.
Okay, do you have a reason why you took my...
You get the picture. Stephanie doesn't fold, and neither does Tiffany. It's like watching 2 bulls charging straight at each other. But last night, things finally boiled over. Tiffany was in rare form, doing what she always does, being condescending, talking down to the residents, and belittling her fellow trustees. The tension in the room was already thick before the real blow-up even happened. At one point, Tiffany took a jab at Stephanie with a comment that went something like, "And I'm saying this for those of you who didn't graduate high school." And of course, Stephanie wasn't about to let that slide. She fired right back with, "That might be true, but we're sitting at the same table." That's classic Stephanie. She says what's on her mind, no filter. Let's be honest, anyone who's heard Tiffany Henyard speak for more than 5 minutes knows she's the last person who should be throwing shade about anyone's education.
Make accusations about what's going on because y'all all judging, meaning people out there are judging off of hearsay, false allegations.
Let's be clear. Stephanie doesn't back down and neither does Tiffany. It's like watching two heavyweights square off, but last night, everything exploded. Tiffany was in rare form, talking down to residents, belittling you. Her fellow trustees just plain disrespectful. The energy in the room was already on edge, and it only took one spark to set everything off. That spark? Activist Jedediah Brown stepping up during public comment and calling Tiffany Henyard out of her name. That's when things turned ugly. Tiffany's boyfriend, Kamal, jumped in to defend her, and as soon as Jedediah turned around, maybe to ask him what he just said, the tension reached a breaking point. In seconds, a full-blown fight erupted, and here's where things got even more bizarre. Suddenly, there's DeMarcus Quigley, literally standing on top of a table like he's trying to flee the scene. And judging by the panic on his face, it looked like he was trying to get away from Elvie Redmond, the man Tiffany hired despite his past involving sexual assault charges. Yep, this same guy is still hanging around Dolton, showing up at meetings like it's business as usual. I'm really trying not to laugh, but seriously, look at DeMarcus. He's up there like someone dodging a wild animal. And honestly, smart. Move. Elvie did serious time, and that's not the kind of energy you want to mess with. At board meetings, he tries to stay composed, but if he wants to keep himself out of more trouble, my advice? Stay miles away from Tiffany Henyard. That woman is a magnet for chaos. Honestly, maybe it's best to just avoid Illinois politics altogether, because this entire scene is unhinged. People need to go back to the basics. Use your words. We learned that in elementary school. Putting hands on people doesn't solve anything, unless you're defending yourself. Now back to the madness. The wildest part? Tiffany Henyard herself got up, left her seat, and marched. Straight into the fight like she was jumping into a wrestling ring. For her man. No hesitation, full force. Think about that for a second. This is an acting township supervisor throwing herself into a physical altercation. Completely unprofessional. Honestly, it felt like she had already accepted her downfall. Like she said, forget it, I'm done anyway. Might as well go out with a bang. And that's exactly how it looked. I can only imagine how devastated the residents were, those who actually care about their community, watching this disaster unfold. They were already fed up with her leadership. But this was the final straw. Tiffany flipped a table and dove into the fight like she was headlining a pay-per-view match. So now what? Where do we even go from here? Honestly, we'll have to wait and see. But I know a lot of you watching this are thinking, how in the world did this woman even get into this position? It all started when she became mayor of Dolton. When the Thornton Township supervisor seat suddenly opened up, the board of trustees appointed her. One of them, Chris Gonzalez, likely didn't see the storm brewing. He probably thought, she's a mayor, she has experience. We're out of time, let's just go with her. Then people ask, how did she even become mayor? I mean, let's be honest, she's clearly not fit for this role. So let's rewind. Back when Tiffany Henyard was just a trustee, she already showed signs of being difficult and disrespectful, but it wasn't as out of control as it is now. It showed here and there, but many people likely gave her a pass because she was young and a woman. That's just my honest take. Now let me show you some footage of trustee Tiffany Henyard from back in the day, so you can see how she may have convinced Dolton residents to vote her into office. Let's look at where it all began. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, trustee Tiffany Henyard. I'm out here in Dolton knocking doors for re-election, getting petitions signed so I can keep working for you in office. I believe this item should go to my committee, Housing, where I serve as chair. I've got concerns, and so do the residents who showed up to our last meeting. I don't think this should be pushed through tonight. And just to get it on record, Mary Kay, we don't even have an invoice. So what exactly are we paying $30,000 for? You want to chime in? Go ahead, trustee. I will. For the record, trustees, since we do control the purse, I was told we don't have the funds. I don't even understand how this made it onto the warrant list. We can't pay our water bill, let alone something like this, so I'll be voting no on this payout. I hope the board will support me in sending this to committee. We can vet it properly and revisit it later. Can I get a motion to move this item to Housing Committee? Before we do that motion, I'd like to add something. I support Trustee Henyard's suggestion to move this to committee and reassess. We've been talking about this for weeks, charging us $5,000 per house. That's insane. People are struggling out here. I've had several residents call me about loan modifications. I've even helped some of them fill out paperwork. If the board is available this Saturday at 10 a.m., I'd love to host a meeting and get the residents' input. Mayor, I'd like you to attend too. Residents deserve a say. Right now, we've got vacant properties just sitting there. I'd rather see those go to residents for a few $1,000 than some company that doesn't even pay us up front. I've sent out an email to the board about honoring the 15-day grace period. There was confusion on the website, and I want to make sure residents aren't being double charged. Tonight, I'm pushing to refund the village stickers to those who were overcharged.